of the 296 employees at NASA's local facilities that faced layoffs are offered new jobs. They worked under CENTCOM Space Services, which had a contract with NASA that expired in June. The company warned layoffs would impact several positions. Those employees were recently absorbed by Nova Space Solutions after it acquired the $823 million contract that CENTCOM lost. Nova now employs 518 people at NASA's Michoud facility and the Stennis Space Center.